For today's guest is someone whose story reflects resilience, leadership, and the power of building something meaningful through service and hard work. Before we begin our conversation, let me tell you a little bit about Desiree Alvarado. She earned degrees from UCLA and Cal State LA, built a successful career in higher education and leadership, and eventually stepped into entrepreneurship along her husband, Ruben. Today, she owns multiple businesses rooted in creative, care, community impact, while continuing to serve and educate and be a community leader. What I admire about Desiree is that through every accomplishment, she has remained grounded to her family, her purpose, and helping others grow. She's a wife, mother of 2 college kids, entrepreneur, educator, and a true example of perseverance and leadership. Desiree, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for asking me.
Did I miss anything in my intro?
No, I think you got it all.
I know you're a little bit nervous.
I know, I'm a little nervous.
It's fine. We're just having a conversation.
Sounds good.
So you went from educator to having your own business. What made you take that leap? Or how did you come about being an entrepreneur?
I really love, so when I was an educator, I was able to help, I always help other people. I was a director of a program called Upward Bound at Cal State LA, and I was able to help high school students, first generation low income, get into colleges. We also, then I moved into helping students go to medical school. So I've been helping students in education for a while, and then I started having my own family. So I wanted to be part of their educational life or their school life, and I think that's what made the leap from, being an educator to being an entrepreneur.
So you started your business when your kids were little?
Yes, I did. I started when they were very little.
What business did you start at that time?
So we started with Embroidery of Arcadia. It was a franchise. My husband and he wanted to also venture into entrepreneurship. He's no longer into entrepreneurship, but he does help me a lot. He's my right hand in terms of he's the handyman for all my businesses. That really helps a lot. What was the question?
Sorry. How did you get started? So that was your first business, your embroidery?
Yes, we did embroidery. It was a franchise, and it was in Arcadia. It was called Embroidery of Arcadia. And at that time, we didn't know that actually you have to go out and get clients. So we just sat there at the store waiting for people to walk in. And so we learned the hard way.
Did you at least have a good street storefront where people walked in?
Yes, we did. We
assumed
did. Yes.
There people are going to see the store and they're going to walk in.
Exactly.
Which is a funny point that you bring out, because a lot of business owners don't know that, right?
That's correct.
They get a business in a right neighborhood and they think, oh, I'm visible, people are just going to walk in. No, you have to go out and attract your clients.
That's right. You have to promote your business. You have to tell people what you do. You have to bring them in. And you have to be involved in the community that your business is in, because they need to know who you are and what services and products you provide.
So then we went from Arcadia Embroidery, and then where else? How did your business grow?
There's the recession hit us, and so at that time, I realized that I cannot be told what to do by my husband at home and at work. So we decided that it was best interest for our relationship to end the franchise. And so he went into the work field. So he started working in a company. And I decided to continue as a broker of promotional products. And that way it gave me the flexibility of being involved in my kids' school. So I became the PTA president and was very involved in their school. I started a GATE program for them because there were no GATE funds, GATE for gifted children. And so it gave me the opportunity to do that. And alongside, I started, networking with my friends from when I was an educator, because now they were in different colleges, junior colleges. So then I pursue them for them to buy product from me. And so I found that support group there because they were very supportive and they started purchasing products from me.
So now you service a lot of the junior colleges. What other businesses do you service?
So we service a lot of junior colleges, mostly programs like EOPS, first generation low income students programs. And now we're also venturing into businesses. You know, we service business partners. We have steel companies. We have clubs. We have different types of industries.
Perfect. And like, I always say Desiree wears like many hats. So we met through the nonprofit. She also volunteers a lot in the nonprofit. So how did you get started in volunteering with the nonprofits?
I think that volunteerism for me has always been a part of my life. You know, I always volunteer, and I think I feel giving back to the community, and it's part of who I am. And so I just started. I became aware of the National Latina Businesswomen Association. I love what they represent, and so I became very involved to the point where I became the president, and I finished my term. And so now I like to also, help other businesses. My current store is at the Valley Mall in El Monte. And so now we're trying to work with the merchants in the Valley Mall to bring back the Valley Mall, and so help any merchants, either with the, promoting themselves and kind of organizing so that we can become a strong, Valley Mall again, because I know that we're working towards that. And so I just like to be involved.
So you went from Arcadia to El Monte, anywhere in between when you were also before in Pasadena, correct?
Yeah, so we started in Arcadia, of course. Then we rented a small, tiny office, very, very small, tiny office. It was borderline San Marino and Pasadena. And from there, we moved to Arcadia again. And then we moved to Pasadena. And then we were finally able to have a really good realtor who found a property for us, a commercial property in El Monte. And so last year, we purchased our property in El Monte. So we're really excited about that because now that's a part of our asset for the company. And so my realtor is Brenda, of course.
Thank you for tooting my horn. Yeah, but I think even us finding that property for you, initially you were very set on, well, my company's called Pasadena Promos because she was on Pasadena. And you gave me a very small range of where I can go, like neighborhood. And then at some point, little by little, we expanded, and then we eventually ended up looking at El Monte, which was a perfect location. But how did you get to owning your own building?
Well, with a lot of hard work, my first office was in Chuck E. Cheese. So I used to pick up my kids from school, and then I used to go work at Chuck E. Cheese, send emails, look at emails. And so they can just run around there and nobody can take them because you have to stamp them, So that was really, interesting. Then I found this place, the University Club of Pasadena. And so I became a member. So I was able to utilize their office spaces. They had an office, printer and computers, so I was able to come here and do work while I run around. My kids went to school in Pasadena, so at Hamilton Elementary, so it was very convenient for me to be at the University Club. And so I just ran around from business to business until finally we were able to get the little office. And because we learned from the franchise, I think that I took my time, so we started growing little by little. I started hiring people, and so we are a team of 6 full-time and 3 part-time right now. And so, of course, I was running my other business too here in Pasadena. So slowly, and trying to have a vision. The vision where, my business needs to get assets. So that, one day where either, I have to exit the business, it will be profitable either way.
Yeah, because now you own equity and you don't just own your home and the commercial property, you actually own 2 more different businesses, right?
Yes. So I have a house in Victorville where we was an Airbnb. Currently it's being rented, but I run that Airbnb too, and I also have a group home for mentally ill in Pasadena, and I've been doing that for since 2008, so almost 20 years. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing you say is like you started off your business, you persevered, you bought your home, you're taking money from that one home that you bought, and then you're putting it into your other businesses.
Yeah. So our first home that we bought, it was in 1997 in Altadena. That home really was our, Ruben and I had actually no money, so we kind of it was a struggle at first, but we ended up buying that house. And so after that, of course, the house started getting equity. And we don't come from rich parents or, we don't come from money. So little by little, we started, we just both risk takers, and I think that's the beauty between the two of us, that we are risk takers. So we just started, refinancing the property, pulling money out, bought another property. We were able to, with that house, we were able to purchase the house in Pasadena, the Bonnie house, which is almost $2 million now. And so, and then we also had purchased another property in Pasadena that we had to sell when the recession hit us. And now we also have a property in Glendora where we live. That's our primary residence now. And of course, our property in Altadena burned down. So we're working towards rebuilding that property and making it into 2 houses. So we're investors, we're realtor investors, we're, business owners. I consider myself, jack of all trades.
And it's something that I like about you, because when she said we're risk takers, she literally said, Brenda, I like that house, I have a feeling. Or Brenda, I like that property. She buys things because she has that feeling. And a lot of us really don't do that. We overthink everything. But with Desiree, she's like, I like it, let's just go. And a lot of the times, look, you build so much for your business. Even I think your Victorville Airbnb, you bought it during COVID, right?
Yes, we bought it during COVID. And right now it's already about $200,000 in equity. So it's investment. Sometimes, you have to take the risk. And I always say problems are not forever, and so that's my motto. Sometimes we do face some problems, but I always have to try to focus that they're not forever. And so we just have to, keep chugging along and being creative, being versatile, trying to see how, you can, make more money.
And I like what you just said about versatility, because when you bought that house, the Airbnb in Victorville, initially it was during COVID, and you said we're going to use it as Airbnb. And then at some point, the bookings reduced, right? So what did you do? You pivoted, and now it's a rental. So instead of selling it, you said, I'm going to restructure it. So that's pretty smart.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. So I know you've had a successful career, but if someone who's looking to start a new business, what's like the first tip that you would like to give them? There's so many tips that I would give you, but the first thing is that you have to find something that you really enjoy doing, that you really want to do, and that you're going to spend hours and hours, and you're going to enjoy it. Because once you start, I feel that once you start not liking something that you're doing, you need to move on. You have to look at what the next step is and figure out what you need to do next. So I think that the first thing is that you have to find something that you really love and that you see yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and spend time, because it's not going to be an 8-hour job. It's going to be, could be 12-hour job, and so and those 12 hours you want to be happy, you want to enjoy what you're doing. So how long is your typical work day?
Well, before my kids, I used to drive around my daughter to her band practices and competitions. And so, but now they're both in college. So I think sometimes I work, 10, 12 hours a day. I network a lot. So whatever I don't get to do during the day because I'm out networking, I have to do it at night. So I would say my average day work maybe 10 hours.
10 hours. And that's you including having like an actual staff that works and takes care of your business. So that's on top of that. Wow. So having a good team does help you
Yes,
at least
yes.
lessen those.
Yes, for both of my big, my businesses, Bonnie's Guest House is, it's a 24-hour business, and so I'm always on call for that. And I have staff 24 hours. And so for my Crown Promotions, I have staff that, takes care of my sales. So I bring in customers and they'll take care of the whole process.
So what are some lessons people don't realize come with entrepreneurship? Or like misconceptions? I own my own business. I'm my own boss. Yeah.
Cash flow, I think the most important thing is you have to plan ahead, right? If you want to grow the business, you have to have a 5-year plan at least. How you're going to get there, who you're going to hire, because eventually you won't be able to do everything that needs to be done to grow. So you're going to start thinking of hiring people. And so, of course, in California, we have so many California laws for employment. And so you have to be very knowledgeable about even HR, just to hire one person. So I think it's just, you just have to be prepared. Do your due diligence, be a risk taker, but at the same time, learn, go to free classes. There's so many free resources out there that are free. So that will teach you how to write a business plan, that will help you with financing, that will help you with QuickBooks and how to keep your books. So just if you're gonna do it, start taking some of those free classes.
And a lot of people don't know, like, if you're a small business owner, there are grants or there's certain programs that you can apply for, right?
Yeah, so there's different grants that come up. I have applied for the City of El Monte grant. They have a grant for new businesses coming in, and so I apply, and we were fortunate to get that grant. It's $10,000. I also applied for another grant from the Economic Development Resilience Fund, and that was $5,000. So sometimes we do have to take a leap and venture and ask people, and do apply, because some people get afraid by just paperwork.
And you're like very good at helping other business owners. I know that if anybody has questions, you're always there, like willing to help. I know, like right now with the City of El Monte, you're trying to revitalize that area and like getting all those business owners together. Where does that resilience come from, or like you wanting to help?
I think it's inside of me. I don't know, it's in my blood. I always been I always volunteer. You can ask Ruben, and he tells you that since he met me, we always volunteer for a lot of different organizations. We volunteer our time. I've been a long-time Rotarian for 13 years now, and we do a lot of volunteer work through Rotary and do fundraising for different things in the community. So I just think that we just have to give back to the community in order for the universe to give back to us.
Oh, that's really nice. I mean, I can see you genuinely care. Obviously, that's why I really love you. You're such a good person. We laugh because it's a little nervous tick. So how does real estate, how has that helped you in terms of creating a legacy for your children?
Well, when I came from El Salvador. I didn't tell you, I don't know if you mentioned that, but I came from El Salvador when I was 10. We came with nothing, and so we ended up in South Central. And so I just wanted to, build something where my children won't have to start from scratch. Hopefully they do appreciate it, in the end. I feel that they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be going to college. We have all our properties in a trust, and we're trying to guide them the right way so that they can continue the legacy and, again, not start from scratch like Ruben and I did.
And see, you're planning ahead for your kids, like just having your properties in a trust. It's like they're not going to have to go through a headache of going through probate. So that's really, I commend you for that. Mm-hmm. And that's you thinking long term.
And I just wanted to add too that in those trusts, you can add a realtor, a trustworthy realtor to your trust so that your kids will not start selling everything once you pass away. And so she can, that realtor can actually help them, make wise decisions in terms of real estate.
Oh, thanks. I'm assuming you added. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, Brenda.
No, Okay, so do you think real estate gave you stability, freedom, opportunity, or what else?
I think it gave me everything that in order for me to even have businesses, to have property. I mean, if we didn't have that house on Harriet, maybe Ruben and I wouldn't have accomplished this much. Maybe we would have, just have our own house and that's it. But that house was a blessing because we were able to purchase, a couple of properties through the house. We were able to finance the embroidery business. And so real estate, I think it's one of those investments that, will always grow. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think that is just, if we didn't have that, we wouldn't have much. And so because of real estate, we are, at a different, what is it called? Tax bracket. but yes, if we didn't have that, I think it would have been very difficult for us to be there.
No, that's good. And was there ever a moment where you felt scared or uncertain about your journey or where you were heading with your businesses?
Yes, every day, even now, have to make sure we meet payroll every 2 weeks, and we have to make sure we continue to sell. We continue to grow, and now we have a property that we need to finance. So we need to, a lot of expenses have increased, and so we need to continue. So I think. The scare part is there. It's just that I don't let it take over my state of mind, because if I let it take over my state of mind, I would be very nervous all the time. And I try to say, like, again, problems are not forever. We're gonna keep growing. We're selling. I have a great team of ladies who sell. Bonnie's Guest House has a great team of staff who cares for the clients. We do house 15 mentally ill adults there. And so I think right now it's just a matter of appreciating our employees, our staff, giving them as much flexibility as possible in terms of time. They have children, give them flexible schedules so that they can go to their children's school activities. And so try to, fund their health insurance. I'm a really true advocate for taking care of your team. Because if you don't take care of your team, they're not going to take care of you. So it's very important for me to do that.
Oh, that's good, because it's like if you're taking care of your team, they take care of you and your business grows. And at least you have that peace of mind that your business is growing because you picked the right people.
That's correct. And I might sell it to them. You never know.
And that's good, because I had someone tell me once, treat my business like it was yours. And when you tell employees that treat my business like it's yours, it's like they do everything possible to make you grow. And like you said, eventually that business might be theirs.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, that's good that you tell them that. It's like you're inspiring them. Another thing, okay, so since you own a different properties, which one do you feel is the most challenging?
In terms of business, it's a Bonnie's Guest House, because I am responsible for 15 mentally ill adults. That's the most challenging business that I have. I am on call 24 hours. Anything happens, I'll be the first one to get the phone call. And just to make it a home style. It is not an institution. It's not a hospital. It is a home for people who need a home and a place to live. So I think that is my most challenging one in terms of human connection. But I think Crown Promotions is my most challenging one in terms of sales, because we have to be out there selling. We have to, be out there networking and drawing up more business.
And how do you network for your business?
Again, I join a few community organizations. I'm part of the University Club, Pasadena. I'm a Rotarian. I was a member of the NLBWALA. I'm an LA Latino Chamber of Commerce. And I attend all the events that would give me an opportunity or that will teach me something that will help me grow my business. So that's how I network. I think, deep down, I am not an extrovert because, but, I have to be out there and, People see, that I am genuine. I'm not going to sell them something that they're not, that I feel that I am not going to buy or I'm not going to benefit from it. So, and I think they trust that. So it's trust, building trust with your, customers.
And just building that human connection, right? So through network, I know you say you're not an extrovert. What advice can you give someone who doesn't want to go out there and network to get business?
Well, nowadays with AI, and all the social media, you can probably do it that way. But I think that what we're seeing now again in our Crown Promotions group is that people want that connection. They want somebody on the phone. They don't want to get that chat box. And so I feel that now people do want that connection. They want to hear somebody on the other line that can actually answer their questions. And so that's what we're learning nowadays. We're kind of going back.
And that's a good point, because you want that human connection. And I know with your store, you can actually go in and look at the samples and see the different materials, because if you order online, it might not be the quality that you want, right? But with you guys have all the different samples there in the showroom, right?
Yes. We do have a showroom with a lot of different promotional items, with sizing, different types of polo textures and items. And yes, it is, because I myself have ordered, extra large, and it's not really extra large; it's more like extra small. So yeah, sometimes we do need to, make sure that we're getting what we order.
Okay, perfect. And I know you're successful, but how do you define success? Like, how does that mean? What does success mean to you?
Wow, that's like deep. Success to me means really getting up in the morning and being happy. Being happy, knowing that my kids are safe, knowing that my staff is coming to work, and I can give them the best benefits that I can as a small business owner. So success is just getting up in the morning and being happy to get up and just, taking on the day, whatever the day brings.
And I know you're like in a different part of your life now, because you're an empty nester, right?
Yes.
So how you and Ruben have been on the go your entire marriages, because building all these businesses. So how do you go from that, where you guys are now spending time together, right?
Oh, well, fortunately, it's been a little challenging, but because not because Ruben and I are now spending more time together, but because my children are not home. And so it's like we come home, we have to have dinner. Ruben and I sit down and have dinner. We don't have to run around and pick up my daughter and take her here and take her there. Or my son, drop him off. They're both two independent adults. My daughter is at UC San Diego, and my son is graduating from UC Santa Cruz. So they're far away, but so the relationship has actually gotten stronger, I feel, because now we run home and we actually, sit down and have dinner together and talk about the day. And so I feel guilty sometimes when I have to go do other stuff, that it's fun, even if it's networking. But because, I know that he's going to be home and he wants to, we want to spend time together, I guess, but it's good. It's good. It's making me work more now again. So I get to spend more time working because I don't have to go run anywhere besides, home for dinner.
Yeah, and with Ruben, he's very supportive. I know even when you have these meetings with the city, he's right there just to be your support, which is good. Besides working, what do you guys do for fun?
Recently we like to travel, and we like to travel with our children. Now I'm able to plan. Before it was, road trips, small outings. We have do a couple of timeshares that we like to use in Mexico, Vidanta and World Mark here in. So we have been owners for a long time, and so we just like to travel now. We like to, road trip. Just Ruben and I sometimes we just like, or sometimes we just veg because we're running around like crazy all week. So now sometimes it's just nice to just stay home and just relax.
Okay. And what's your favorite place here in LA? I know Southern California has so many things. What's your favorite place to do?
Oh my gosh.
Or thing to do?
Well, recently, I like to come to the University Club. We have a lot of activities here where, we have game nights, comedy nights, trivia nights, and Ruben and I are not in our like clubs, club stage anymore. Or so we just like to come and hang out with, older adults like us. And so it's just fun because it's not like it's not a restaurant. It's just kind of like a home environment. And so we just like to do the activities here.
That's nice. And it's homely and you know the people here.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's one thing that you hope your listeners take away from your story?
Problems are not forever. If you want to be a business owner, go for it. Don't let anybody, your state of mind stop you. And just, be happy. Be happy that you get up in the morning and you get to do what you want.
Perfect. And where can people connect with you?
Well, they can connect either, a Crown Promotions group, my email. I don't know if you're going to put it on the...
We can put your email.
You can put my business card and they can contact me. My cell phone number is there, and I'll be willing to, talk to anybody, answer any questions, help you with, anything that you might have questions on regarding entrepreneurship.
Perfect. Is there anything that we didn't cover that you would like to tell someone? Some advice, words of advice from Desiree.
Words for my advice. Well, Brenda here is a perfect realtor. And I do trust her judgment, and we are working on some investment opportunities with her. And so I do want to, recommend Brenda Solis for your realtor needs.
And that was not coached. I was expecting her to say something with, what was that saying we heard the other day?
The jack of all trades.
Jack of
all trades, a master of none, but most often better than a master of one.
Yes, and that's amazing.
That's like Shakespeare.
Thank you so much again for this, Desiree. I really appreciate you. You're just a mentor in life, and your energy is very captivating.
Oh, thank you.
This woman can be on at 9 o'clock with her energy, and I just want to emulate that at some point. So thank you so much for having me.
I'm glad you want to do that.
Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.